Mrs. D with Cooking with Her Spoon. Okay, so tonight, really quickly, I'm going to show you guys how I make chili with beans. It's cold here, and I have a taste for some chili with beans, with the dark red kidney beans. So, I'm starting off with my hamburger. 80-20 beef is what I like to use. Just enough lean, just enough fat. I always have to get y'all down further. There you go, in the skillet. And I was asked to make sure I finish so y'all can see the finished product. So I'm going to do that tonight. Hopefully I won't get a call in that will interrupt my audio. I've ordered a camcorder, but I have not programmed it and had it hooked up as of yet. I'll hopefully get that done by next week. But yes, it's 80-20 hamburger. And so I have over here my bell pepper and my onion that's going to go in. So I'm going to cut this up really quick, dice it up. I'm trying to find, there we go. I'm going to dice my bell pepper and onion up. Just going to go inside. While my beef is cooking. Let's turn this meat down some. I don't want it to burn or stick. There we go. And I don't add any kind of salt or pepper to my beef when I'm using it for chili, because again, I'm one of those that don't over season with salt. I watch my sodium intake. I try my best to watch my sodium intake. So the chili powder has enough sodium in it, so I'll get my sodium from the chili powder. And I'm finished dicing these bell peppers and onions really quickly. This is super simple. I try to make everything I cook for you guys, showing you the way I do it. It don't mean that it's necessarily the only way to cook it, but I just show you the way I particularly do it. Might be a different way you do it, but I try to keep everything simple as possible, because I don't want to keep you guys on too long, because I feel like you would lose interest. I know I would, it's just taking too long. But okay, so my meat is looking to be done. So what I'm going to do is strain my meat just to get any of my fat off of it. I'm going to strain it. Really fast. And I will mention, let me wait to get back to you so y'all can really hear me. So, and I will mention, when I strain my meat, guys, I actually rinse my meat off with hot water. Sounds weird, don't it? But I do. I rinse it off with hot water to get extra grease, fat, whatever you want to call it, off of it. And I'm going to make a little bit chunkier chili tonight by adding more vegetables than I normally would. It all depends on the size of the hamburger pack you have that you're using. I had a pretty small size pack because it's only me and my husband eating this particular meal tonight. So I didn't want to do too much of it. So as that meat is simmering a little bit, I've turned the heat down on it. And I'm getting ready to add my bell peppers. Then I'm gonna dice me some onion to go in there. And what you want to do, you don't want a dry chili. You want to have a nice, not necessarily loose as soup, but you want to have a nice textured chili. And I'm going to show you how I get a nice textured chili that you can take and dip your crackers in. And I actually add sour cream and chives on top of my chili. It is yummy. Sour cream, chives, and I add sharp cheddar cheese to mine. Sharp shredded cheddar cheese. That's a tongue twister, but you guys get what I mean. So I got my onion almost done. Gonna throw those in. And I rinse my onion off with cold water. That's why y'all don't hear me crying, because it don't burn my eyes when I rinse it off with cold water. Okay. There we go. I have my onion. There we go. And so I'm going to just stir those in. And then I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes. Diced tomatoes. Your beans will be the last thing to go in as far as adding cans of stuff. So as I pour these in, that's giving me some of my liquid I've been looking for. I'm going to turn it back up a little bit. I don't like the peels that come in them sometimes, so I'm very picky, y'all. I had to take that peeling out. Yes, and normally when I do my chili, I add the petite diced tomatoes, not the chunky ones like this. You can use either or. I thought I picked up tomatoes from the store earlier today, so I had to run out tonight and get some. And the place that I went only had this particular kind. See, I hate these little tomato, I don't like the little core part, and I don't like to have the skin of the tomato in there. I don't know, it just don't taste right to me. So I'm gonna turn this back up, and then we're gonna add in the chili powder. I love McCormick's brand chili powder. Works really good. I like the seasoning, and I have them original tonight. Sometimes I do the mild. I don't ever do the hot. I don't like for my chili to be hot like that. I do add, and I about forgot about that, I do add a little bit of hot sauce to my chili when I finish cooking it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out so I won't forget to add it in the end. There we go. And so with your chili powder, the secret to making sure your chili is flavorful but not overpowering is to add your chili powder, stir in, see what your meat looks like. You have to make sure your meat is thoroughly covered with your seasoning. And there's another part of the tomato I don't like. So, I'm picky, y'all. Not picky. I wouldn't say picky. I'm particular. I'm particular. That's the good word for it. So it looks as if I'm almost where I want to be with the way my seasoning looks on my chili powder. So what you'll notice when you're cooking this is that as you're trying to cook your vegetables some, they're not going to be cooked to a mush. At least mine aren't cooked to a mush. You'll start noticing that your chili powder it seemed to be like drying some almost. You don't want to dry. You don't want this. That's too dry. So what do? You add some hot water. Not cold, not lukewarm. You add hot water. And so you just gradually add that like so. Because you don't want it sticking. Gradually add your hot water, and that's going to help your vegetables get a nice texture that you want. You don't want them to be raw, but you don't want them to be mushed. Well, I don't want them to be mushed. I have to remember how I word stuff. I don't want my vegetables to be mushed, but I don't want them to be raw either. So, you see that's cooking, how good that's looking? And you can pretty much tell when you're gonna need more, if you're gonna need more seasoning rather. So I'm gonna add a little bit more hot water because I want this to cook a little bit longer. Hot water is the key. The key. I'm gonna be took all these tomatoes out, y'all. What in the world? Okay. So, you see that? How nice that looks. And the chili powder goes a long way. A very long way. Another piece of tomato skin. So, as that is cooking, I got the perfect amount of water to put in here. I'm happy with this water content I just used. See how it's getting a little bit of simmer to it? That's what you want. You don't want it to be boiling, raging, mad boiling. You want it to have a little bit of a simmer action to it. Yes, just like that. And as always, it smells scrumptious, delicious. So now that I have that boiling action, I'm gonna add my dark red kidney beans. You can do light red too. I think I've actually used light red before. So while that's doing that, and what I do, I just pour off a little bit of the juice off top of my beans. Not all of it. I just pour off some of it, and then I pour it directly into my chili mixture. And by that point, you're almost ready to eat, honestly. Yes, that's looking good. Smelling good. And now that I've added my kidney beans, I really feel like I need a teeny bit more seasoning because some of the juice from my kidney beans seem to have made it look like I need more, because you don't want your hamburger to be looking naked. You don't want that. So I put a little bit, just a little bit, not the whole pack, y'all. Just add as what you think you would need. It's one of them things where you're going to have to kind of get a feel of it and, you know, go from there. You'll know. When you know, you know. So you'll start knowing. And you just stir it in. Just stir it in like that. Get those beans nice and hot in there with your other mixture. You see how good that's looking? Nice chunky chili. Chunky and delicious. And while that is doing what it do, I'm going to turn it like on number 4 so it can simmer some more. And while that is doing what it does, I'm going to go ahead and since y'all want to see it plated, I'm going to go ahead and get my chives together so you'll be able to see the actual finished product. Yes, yes, yes. So, I have my chives. That is looking good. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. So, I'm gonna rinse my mat off real quick. And now I'm going to rinse my chives off. Or, as some people call them, green onions. So I got that rinsed. And with these, I just like to cut these in the bunch together. Forget about cutting one at a time. These things are so small that you want to cut it all at one time if possible, because if not, you're going to be like, Yes, so Really, this is more than enough chives because I don't even think my husband eating any of the chives. I think he's just gonna eat the chili and the cheese itself. So yes, that's my chives all cut up. Chili is doing what I needed to do. Oh yes, now it's like a soupy. You want a soupy, that's the word. You want a soupy texture, not a a gravy texture, not a soupy texture. Gravy is the word. See that? Yes. And you can always cook it a little longer. It's not gonna hurt. What I like to do, especially if I'm cooking it first thing, like earlier in the day, I like to put it in my crock pot and just let it keep warm in the crock pot all day. It makes it, to me, it just marinates it or something, I don't know. So now I'm going to put my favorite hot sauce, and the only kind I use, Texas Pete. I'm gonna put a few drops of that, like so, in, and I'm gonna stir it in just to give it a teeny bit of a kick. I don't like hot chili, not like hot, spiced, rather hot. Yes, smells so good, y'all. So good. So now I'm going to get my sour cream and my cheese. And I'm going to show you guys how I eat mine. Go ahead and turn this back down. It's doing really good. I don't want it to be stirring, burning up rather. So stir it so it won't be sticking and burning. Don't matter if it's still simmering while you're getting your plate together, as long as it ain't cooking. And this is my fave sour cream, just in case you're wondering, Daisy. I like the little commercial, do a dollop of Daisy. That's what I do, a dollop of Daisy. And my favorite plate bowl type thing to use when I'm doing chili is this. Favorites. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip it out like so. That'll be my husband's. Mine I'm going to add extra stuff to. Turn that off. I'm going to dip this. And I'm going to tell you something about me. Don't laugh at me, y'all, but it's pitiful. I know. I don't know why I'm dipping all this. I ain't going to eat this much, y'all. I promise you. If I do, that means I'm really, really hungry. But it is a small plate type bowl. And for video purposes, I'm going to, because presentation is everything, wipe my plate. See that? Beautiful bowl of chili. So what I like to do, I take and put my cheese. I'm going to put some on my husband so it can start melting. And you can always pop it in the microwave or either stir it into it. But I'm going to put my cheese. And then I'm going to put my sour cream. I don't mind my food touching, but when I'm doing something like this, I like to kind of keep it separate. Because that way when I take and put my crackers in it, I can dip in one side and then dip in the other side and just make it all taste good. So with sour cream, I like to stir it. That way I can get a good spoonful. Then I got a heaping, big tablespoonful size of sour cream that I put just like that. And then I take and sprinkle on some chives. Just like that, guys. There you go. Nice, homemade, quick and easy chili beans. All right, you guys, I hope you're enjoying. If you haven't subscribed, please click subscribe, like, share my page. All right, thank you so much.